Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for taking your seats. We will start in a few minutes, so last call to everyone, please take your seats and we will start in a minute.
Zero Project is the most diverse and global conference of its type in the world.
The conference is the annual highlight of the Zero Project, where you bring a full year's work to life.
The global community working in the field of disability and development.
To set in motion a global movement to advance disability rights worldwide.
To make and help create a society and a system that is designed for everyone with us.
I think this room, more than any room, understands the demographics of disability. It's big.
Development is about innovation, and so I'm really excited to see not only what is out there, but how do we take these innovations to scale.
Zero Project is a wonderful place to share, as we've heard, the innovations that improve the lives of disabled people.
Every single one of you in this room are changing the world.
We want to make sure that we create a future that is accessible to everyone.
Zero barriers must be the ultimate goal.
It's not about having special needs. It's about having equal human rights.
Because everyone matters.
Everyone matters. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the kickoff event of the Zero Project Conference 2025. Welcome to everyone here at the Austrian Parliament and connected live via the internet. We are here to allow this to people with disabilities. This is done also by using innovative solutions for employment and ICT to allow for innovation and participation. You will meet Erin Taylor in a few minutes, an American fighter for inclusion, and she's an example that shows us what technology, and we will see a premiere here, what technology can do when it comes to allowing participation and to giving people a voice. And as a father of two children, I am particularly aware of how important it is to give people a voice.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you
Today,
are.
I can speak to my kids. I can sing them a lullaby. I can read them a story. And I can tell them I love them. But soon, ALS will take my voice.
The ability for us to sing lullabies and tell stories allows us to create an emotional connection with our loved ones.
I think a parent's voice is really vital for the relationship.
ALS is a neurodegenerative disease that causes people to lose their motor function and ability to speak. There is no known cure. Artificial intelligence is a game changer. When IMR wants to speak, he uses his eyes to select pre-selected words on a circular keyboard. He can then output those words using his own generated AI voice.
My avatar is almost as handsome as I am.
He can choose to hear and see his words spoken by a hyper-realistic avatar.
The giant woke up from his slumber and shouted, "Fee, fi, fo, fum." Jack started climbing down the beanstalk as fast as he could, and the giant chased him.
Our motivation for Smarter AI for All is to empower all of us to use the technology to make our worlds better.
Technology is my best hope. And with the advances of AI, I have a chance to sing happy birthday to my children for many years to come, and possibly even toast at their weddings.
Dear President of the Austrian National Council, dignitaries, ambassadors, Zero Project leadership, and participants, and fellow innovators, I am wearing a long-sleeved burgundy satin shirt with rolled-up sleeves, black slacks, and black shoes. I have short, dark brown hair and would be 188 centimeters tall if I were standing. I use a black electric wheelchair. And now I would like to introduce you to my digital human avatar, who is speaking for me today. Grüß Gott, habe Dere. Mein Name ist Erin.
Hello,
und ich
nice
sage
to meet
Ihnen,
you. My name is Erin, and I'm telling you that AI, artificial intelligence, doesn't know any language barriers. I've never been to Vienna, but let me tell you that it's great to be here at the Austrian Parliament together with you. Okay, back to English now. Because as they say, all good things have to come to an end.
For my English-speaking friends, I just said AI knows no language barriers, and being here in Parliament is thrilling. Now, let's continue in English. At 23, I was diagnosed with ALS. As you saw in the video, this diagnosis stops you in your tracks. Being told to get your affairs in order at 23 makes you want to curl up and cry. But I choose to do the hard thing, keep enjoying life. And technology has been my lifeline. This digital human avatar is not just a fancy digital copy, it has given me back my independence. Through DID's AI-powered digital twin technology, I can express myself naturally and communicate on my own terms. While my journey is with ALS, millions worldwide face different disabilities that challenge communication. The solutions we are creating are not just for me or ALS, they are for anyone whose voice, movement, or expression is limited by disability. None of this would be possible without the Scott Morgan Foundation's amazing collaborators, iRespond, DID, 11 Labs, Lenovo, Smartbox, EarSwitch, and many others. Together, they have been instrumental in making this technology work for me. With great technology comes great responsibility. That's why I am working with the Scott Morgan Foundation and DID to develop an AI personal avatar Bill of Rights. At its core, this affirms that every person is the ultimate key holder to their digital identity. This is about ensuring that every person with any disability affecting communication from birth, illness, injury, or aging maintains ownership of their digital identity. Today, I would like you to walk away with 3 takeaways. 1. Technology holds tremendous promise for persons with disabilities. 2. This promise is realized when we co-design and control these technologies from the start. 3. Only as a collective can we thrive. Global cooperation driven by people interested in moving forward and seeking solutions. That is what I want as a person with ALS, and which is why I am so keen to be here at the Zero Project, which shares that ethos, a world with zero barriers for all. I know there are fears about how digital humans might be misused. That is why an AI personal avatar Bill of Rights is important and must evolve as technology advances, but the core principle remains: I should have the final say over my digital self. The power that comes when we smile despite challenges is huge. Today, in these historic halls, I am asking you to ensure digital rights become human rights. When you protect my digital self, you affirm the dignity of everyone whose voice technology will amplify. Thank you for recognizing not just my words, but my humanity. After all, the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights reminds us in Title I, human dignity is inviolable. It must be respected and protected. Danke schön.
Thank you very much, Aaron Taylor, danke vielmals, Aaron Taylor. Ihr Wienerisch ist besser.
Thank you, Aaron Taylor. Your Viennese slang is definitely better than mine.
Was hoffentlich bald ein Ende hat, ist
now you say all things must come to an end, and what we must end is that people with disabilities cannot participate. That's what we have in mind, and that's what we use technology for. We've seen how much potential for participation, also in employment, is enabled by these technologies. And this is what we are going to talk about today, innovations that we want to get to know, that have been developed the world over and that we want to introduce in Austria too. We want to make them known. But first of all, let me express my sincere thanks to today's host, the President of the National Council, Walter Rosenkranz, who, because of an appointment in court, can only join us later during this event. But we are very, very happy to be here today. I'm also pleased to welcome our other hosts of today's event, who are here in person. The President of the Federal Council of Austria, Andrea Eder-Gitzthaler. Martin Essl, the founder of the Essl Foundation and the Zero Project Initiative. Welcome. Let me also extend a personal welcome to Wolfgang Sobotka, the former president of the National Council. We are delighted that Caroline Casey has accepted our invitation to give the keynote address today. A very warm welcome to you as well, and good morning. I would also like to welcome the spokespersons for people with disabilities of the parties represented in the Austrian National Council, or their deputies. They will each present an innovation at today's event. Welcome to Rosa Ecker, Heike Eder, Christian Oksonitsch, Fiona Fiedler and Ralf Schallmeier. Furthermore, let me welcome our guests who will put the presented innovations through their paces in the course of a short Q&A session. To my left and to my right on the government bench, I will introduce them each. The President of the Austrian Disability Council, Klaus Wiedl, the Ombudsperson for Persons with Disabilities, Christine Steger, the President of ÖTSIF, Rudolf Cavagna, a representative of the Austrian Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired, Maria Binova, the former chair of the Monitoring Committee, Tobias Buchner, members of the Women with Disabilities Initiative, Heidemarie Egger and Julia Moser, the chairwoman of the initiative Selbstbestimmt Leben in Salzburg, Monika Schmerold, and we are also very pleased to see the representative for accessibility and inclusion at the Austrian Broadcasting Corporation, Mr. Weinig, and Christian Specht, the initiator of the Berlin Parliament of Persons with Disabilities. A very warm welcome to all of you. I would also like to welcome all presenters of the innovations presented here today, as well as to our international guests who are joining us here at the Austrian Parliament. Thank you very much for being here with us today. And last but not least, let me warmly welcome all members of the National Council and the Federal Council, all representatives of advocacy groups, and of course a very warm welcome to the audience present in the room and watching via live stream. I would now like to ask Martin Essl, the founder of the Essl Foundation and the Zero Project, to come here for your welcome address.
Wow.
Wow, it's the sixth time we're gathering here at the Austrian Parliament, and every time it's a huge pleasure to be here. members of the Bureau of the National Council, Madam President of the Federal Council, former President of the National Council, ladies and gentlemen, members of Parliament, representatives from politics, business and civil society, dear innovators, partners and guests. As the founder of the Zero Project, it's a great honor and a pleasure for me to accept the Austrian Parliament's invitation yet again and to welcome you here. For those who cannot see me, let me briefly introduce myself. I'm in my early 60s. I have some hair left on my head, very light hair. Today I'm wearing my best suit. Also, to appreciate the great location we're using here, I'm wearing a green tie and a patch that shows the Zero Project symbol, a small little plant with 3 leaves that is going to grow and become strong enough to break down barriers. And that's really what the Zero Project is all about. We are fighting together for a world with zero barriers. So this is not just a festive event that we are gathering for here, but it's a milestone in the way we talk about inclusion, in the way we implement inclusion. For the 6th time, we are pleased to welcome you here to the kickoff event of the Zero Project Conference. Thanks to the active support we receive from the Austrian Parliament and the National Council's Bureau. And last but not least, also support from Michi Pichler, who has done a great job on behalf of Zero Project. Many, many thanks to all of you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, where else in the world can you experience this? Where else do members of Parliament come together to engage directly with the world's leading innovators for inclusion? Where else do we break down the usual communication silos and connect the public, private and civil sectors in an open dialogue about effective solutions to make Austria more inclusive together? And that is exactly what makes this event so unique. We're living in times of great challenges, but we know that change does not happen in isolation. No single ministry, no single country, no single company, no single organization can achieve an inclusive society, an inclusive world on its own. It takes all of us, all people in this world with and without disabilities. That is why the Zero Project brings together innovators and decision makers, not just to discuss solutions, but to put them into practice. And the numbers speak for themselves. More than 12,000 experts from 180 countries are part of the Zero Project network. In our research, we have identified, selected, awarded and supported around 1,000 tried and tested innovations. That has been done with the help of the Zero Project Network. Each and every one of these solutions is an opportunity for a more inclusive future. And that is precisely this future that we are shaping together today, by crossing borders, by building bridges, and by bringing together innovation, politics, and practical implementation. Innovation is only truly inclusive if it is developed from the outset with those people who can then benefit most from it. And that's why I'd like to take a moment today to acknowledge particularly a special innovator whom we've just met, Erin Taylor. We heard her. Erin has been working with Lenovo on a groundbreaking AI-powered communication tool for people with ALS. Her experience shows that artificial intelligence has the potential to open up completely new ways of interaction for people with disabilities. Erin also shows that these technologies cannot just be developed for people with disabilities, but like in Erin's case, they must be developed with them. Their voices must not only be heard, they must be part of the process from the very beginning. Innovation without inclusion is not effective innovation after all. It's an unfinished prototype at best. That's why it is so important that we have a Bill of Rights for artificial intelligence, a clear guidance on how to make artificial intelligence fair, safe, and inclusive. We are at a turning point today. Technology is developing faster than ever before. And now is the moment to ensure that inclusion is built in from the start. We need people like Erin to remind us that no innovation is truly groundbreaking if it is not accessible to all. In this spirit, I would also like to express my great appreciation for our keynote speaker today, Caroline Casey, a good friend, someone who has been fighting our fight in Zero Project together with us from the outside. Thank you for accepting to hold the keynote address today that we're going to hear in a moment. Caroline is a true pioneer when it comes to winning over businesses the world over for this cause. With Valuable 500, she has impressively demonstrated that inclusion is not just a social imperative, but that it's also an economic success factor. Her tireless efforts have helped to ensure that 500 of the leading businesses around the world have committed to accessibility and equal opportunities, and that they are thus bringing about lasting change. Let us take advantage of this special moment. Let us not only leave this room inspired, but also determined, because only by working together can we create a world with zero barriers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear Martin, also for introducing our keynote speaker and for laying the ground for her address. So there's not much for me to say. She will explain why she is fighting for this cause, and she will talk about the fact that we are at a turning point. She is the face, the voice, the heart of the Zero Project Conference. I've also had a chance to meet her and get to know her. I know how hard she's fighting for inclusion for people with disabilities. She is visually impaired herself. So let me just explain to you that shortly before the end of her presentation, I will get up and get into her field of vision, so don't be surprised. We talked about this with Caroline. She wanted me to do this, so just to give you a little context. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Caroline Casey with The Darkest Hour is Before Dawn, the global unifying force of accessibility. Welcome, Caroline.
Good morning. And Andreas, come right up and tell this Irish woman to stop talking. Before I begin, I'm just going to give an audio description of myself. I stand here now as a 53-year-old white woman with lots of lines on my face, a huge smile on my face, and in a green dress, not because I'm Irish, because it's the colour of 0. And I do it for Martin every year. This is very dialed down dressing for me, but my craziness will come back tomorrow. Wow. I want to firstly acknowledge that I'm standing in this room around so many people who care in their heart and use with their positions the power that we have to consistently challenge and move the dial for a world where we all equally can reach our potential and thrive. I want to acknowledge that this is my first time in this room. The Austrian Parliament has opened its home, and you made sure in the refurbishment of that we could all come here, and that you worked with people with disabilities to help co-design that from the beginning. That act is an act of an inclusion revolution which I wish would be contagious all around the world. I look at the 5 of you standing here, each representative of the party, and your desire to work together, to learn from each other, how we can scale the ambitions that we have. I look at you taking the seats of ministers, representing the Austrian citizenship, your voices here to be part of it. I look at the dignitaries and the presidents and every human in this room, because now there is no ego. Now there isn't the positions of power or place. We are all equal in this moment, truly here together. Erin could not have said it better. Your work and innovation and your demonstration to make really incredible things happen require so many people. And now, Erin, how do we get your vision and your ambition? We can do it. I'm not standing behind that podium, which I probably should do. But I'm a troublemaker, and I don't want to be caged in by a podium. I've always stood shaking, as you can hear my voice with my knees, here in front, as close as I can get to as many people, because my vision, though I look much more visual, or vision, it is very low. It's about ½ a foot. And I feel you, so I'll feel when Andreas gets up. But I also want to be close to, because I'm not talking at you, I'm roaring from my heart with you. I want to say thank you, Austria. Thank you for all of you, for what you continue to do, for all the times that you've turned up. I think as somebody who's a founder of something like the Valuable 500, an idea that was so impossible in 2019, when we launched it on the main stage of the World Economic Forum in Davos, when people said to me, disability on the main stage in Davos? Really? Really? And 2.5 years later, we had 528 signatures and commitments of the world's most important CEOs of the biggest brands to work on scaling disability performance and integrating it into their business. It is only a tiny moment, but it proves the magic of many, the mighty, of replication again and again, of working together. And I'm standing here thinking, what could we do? Can we take what you've done and put it into every parliament in the world? Austria, could you do that? Can we make that possible? To take this learning, to take what we have done, to spread it. In this moment of darkness, the world is hard. So can we use accessibility, the simple act of making our countries, our parliaments, our schools, our transport, our business, our lives accessible to everyone? Can you Could you? Is that crazy to imagine that we take all that you have done and you share it in hope? Because there's so much that we're frightened of in this moment. But you know what? People with disabilities are used to things being really hard, used to a world that's not designed for them to come into. So can I tell you, we possibly are the greatest unifying force on this planet. We are walking solutions to exist and flourish and thrive in a world that has not been designed for us. So to my people, disabled friends, colleagues, family members, this is our time. When things are impossible, we prove we can. We can do that. I refuse to sit and look at the problem more and say, because things are big, we can't. No, we can. And when we talk about how the diversity, equity, inclusion agenda is being pulled back, well, hold on a minute. It never really, ever really served people with disabilities as much as we'd want. And yet, we still come forward. Look at this moment. We have been doing the Zero Project since 2012, and it was in one room with 230 people. I'm still talking 13 years later. And look what you've done. Look what you've done. Look what you've done. You have spread it out across the world and asked people to come home. And then from here, we spread out again and again and again, making that magic happen. And it is possible, because every voice matters. I stand now here, many years later, as a grandmother of 2, with a 3rd baby on the way, with a pregnancy that is so complex. And I wonder, have I done enough for that little being? But I am so proud to be part here, because I truly believe that inclusion of people with disabilities and accessibility is a unifying force of hope for us all. Disability is never discriminated. We are part of every single group and community in the world. Every age, LGBTQIA, and race and faith, religion, socioeconomic background, we exist. We are your unifier. Not only could we try and ensure the potential of people with disabilities and their families, but actually for everyone. It so broke my heart that after the murder of George Floyd, I was asked time and time again by people in the media, do you not feel frightened that the issue of race will overshadow the valuable 500 and disability? Oh, no. Inclusion is either all for everyone or not at all. You cannot have a la carte inclusion. What about Black disabled people? This is it. We are the unifying force. We are the solutions that can walk together and share together and learn together. There is no competition. And the companies that are standing firm to DE&I in America are those that it was in their DNA. So as I hear you moving and see you coming, I'm going to end with just 3 points that I've learned about building the valuable 500. What made a lot of CEOs sign, it was their humanity, is realizing that they were mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, parents, grandparents, and the world they were going to leave differently. But also what made the valuable 500 a success is that we didn't have excuses, but we didn't blame. We kept showing a vision forward, one that was collective, so powerful you couldn't ignore it. The collective power of all of us. And the third thing is that everything that we did was informed by the community to which we are part of. I don't want a seat at your table. We don't need it, because that table is so well and truly broken. What we want is to help be the architects of the new furniture in the world that we choose and want to be in, uniquely, proudly dignified as ourselves. 25 years ago this month, I came out of the disability closet where I'd hidden for a very long time. 25 years ago, quarter of a century, the lines on our face. I look forward to sharing the moderation with Andreas and Yetnebesh and Emily as we move into this next generation of inclusion. And I finally end with the expression of nothing about us without us. And then Yaslim Marash has always said, nothing without us. And my call to you is without us. Nothing. Nothing at all. Because people with disabilities are all of us together. At some form, in some way, at some point. Use your voice, use your heart, soft front, strong back, wild ambition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caroline. It's such an honor to listen to every word you have said, and I think we have to put everything you have said into the DNA of this world, and now it's time for action again, and step by step we will reach exactly that goal, a world without barriers for everyone. And let's come to the action. Lasst uns jetzt ins To-Do gehen.
Well, let us now move on to action. How can we create a world without barriers? How can we make sure that we can get everybody on board? This will work through innovation and through technology. Before we're going to present to you 5 innovations, I would ask the CEO of Zero Project, Michael Fembeck, to join me here. He has been working hard throughout the year, and he deserves a big round of success. Yes, I'm very happy to present to you the international work of the Zero Project team and to answer the question why those 5 innovations that have been singled out from thousands of innovations for presentation by Austrian members of parliament. The International Zero Project team works on a regular basis year after year, and during the first 7 months of the year there are 3 parts of our work as far as this event is concerned. In the first phase we select the annual theme. This year it's employment and IT, and we organize a call for nominations, and this year we got more than 550 entries from 100 countries. Then we select the so-called awardees, 77 this year, which are then invited to present their projects at the Zero Project Conference. And from those 77, we, as the international team, create a short list because those are projects which we think are particularly relevant for Austria. We then, contacts are then established with Austrian parliamentarians, and they decide which of the projects they wish to present. Thank you very much, Michael, for this overview of your work and for giving us an insight of what's going to happen in the coming days. Now, just to mark out the framework, I will ask the respective member of parliament to join me here, who will then present the brief project and explain why the project was selected selected. We're then going to see a brief video and a short presentation by the makers of the project. And then we're going to talk about how the project can be rolled out in Austria. And then there will be final remarks by the party representatives regarding next steps. Let us start with the first innovation. This is Chance B, representatives from Austria, a project that is doing an excellent job. And I would ask Rosa Ecker, representative of the Austrian Freedom Party, to come to the rostrum. A cordial welcome to all of you in the Austrian Parliament. Well, we shouldn't disclose too much of our project, but our moderator just told us that he's got 2 young children, and he may have asked the question which I have asked myself. What do parents expect for their children? A good life. They want them to be independent, financially independent, self-determined. What do young people expect? Similar things, perhaps in a more modern way of putting it. They want to have a good life, they want to have a job they enjoy, and they want to earn a reasonable income. We all know young people for whom this is not so easy, and we all know parents who worry a lot about that. In my family, I've got a young man who needed more and better opportunities in life. And young people with an intellectual disability or learning difficulties need special opportunities. The initiative taken by ComCom from Chance B in Styria offers such opportunities. We've selected this initiative for presentation in Parliament because it enables young people to live an independent life and not to be dependent on pocket money. It's not just young people who benefit from that, but also the parents and enterprises, as well as we as society as a whole. I hope I've made you curious about this initiative that comes from ComCom, from Chance B in the Austrian province of Styria. And we're looking forward to learning more about this project from Michael Longino from Chance B.
Chance B's ComCom program in Austria aids disadvantaged youth via dual apprenticeship models. Expanded nationally in 2019, it involved 270 trainees by 2024 with a strong certification system.
Ja, hallo. Einen schönen Vormittag von meiner
A very
Seite.
good morning also from my part. I'm happy to be here today to present our ComCom initiatives. I'm 1.80 meters tall. I'm wearing a blue jacket and a white shirt. Our ComCom initiative was founded 10 years ago in order to enable educationally disadvantaged people to improve their chances of succeeding in the regular labor market through a training and certification system. The first steps were taken at the University of Klagenfurt together with more Monika Kastner. Together we developed this program, and now, 10 years later, we are cooperating with partners from 5 Austrian provinces and organizations to accompany young people in upgrading and making visible the competencies they have acquired and expand them within the framework of qualification and certification programs. We ourselves offer qualifications in fields of work, in jobs that are in high demand in Austria. Young people come to us and they undergo training which takes 1 to 2 years, which is modeled on the Austrian system of dual training of apprentices. They can deepen and improve their qualifications and competencies. At the end of their training course, they receive a certificate which, within the framework of the national qualification framework, is being recognized at levels 1, 2, and 3. We are very proud of having been the first ones getting our qualifications recognized within the framework of the relevant legislation. The Austrian apprenticeship training, the conclusion of Austrian apprenticeship training, is at level 4. So it was particularly important for us to ensure that people who haven't concluded an apprenticeship yet do have the qualifications and competencies for the regular labor market and do have opportunities there. We want to make that clearly visible. So Chance B is a social service provider in Eastern Styria, in a rural region. Our program from the very outset was designed to allow other organizations in Austria and beyond to apply these qualifications. We haven't developed a business model. The program was funded by the public sector, and we will be happy to allow other organizations to come on board and within the context of their offers for people with disabilities or educationally underprivileged people, to make the program visible so that it can be recognized even more effectively in the business community. Thank you very much.
Die erste Frage kommt von Klaus Wiedel.
The first question comes from Klaus Wiedel. Well, first of all, a few words of welcome. I'm 58 years old, 1.80 meters tall. I'm wearing a suit with a red tie. Ladies and gentlemen, in my capacity of President of the Austrian Council for Handicapped Persons, it's a special concern of mine to point out how important the presence and the active involvement of people with disability in the public discourse is. I would like to thank you most cordially for having organized this kick-off event for the 6th time in the most important venue of democracy in Austria, in the Austrian Parliament. This is of enormous symbolic strength. And it helps us emphasize even more strongly the human right to inclusion. We're proud of having a worldwide community on inclusion and to welcome that community in Austria today. We're saying hello to more than 1,500 participants from all over the world. There will be numerous encounters, there will be lively exchanges. I hope that valuable impetus will thus be created. I would also like to thank all the innovators with their great ideas they are committed to a world without barriers. I thank all those who have initiated and organized the event here today and later this week at the Vienna International Center. My thanks go to the entire team of the Essl Foundation. First and foremost, its founder, Martin Essl. Thank you very much. And now, on to my question. From the viewpoint of the Austrian Council for People with Disabilities, it's greatly appreciated that this network is promoting the chances of people with disabilities to succeed in the regular labor market. Now, how has the system of assessing competencies and qualifications been developed, and how is it being implemented? Well, in order to establish people's competencies and conclude their qualification, we've developed an online platform for our participants, and their educational assistants can evaluate themselves their own competencies. This tool was developed together with people with learning difficulties, which were involved in a co-production process, so that it can be ensured that all competencies, the way are described, are worded in easy language and can be well understood by our participants. There are audio versions available for people who need that. It has become a very simple tool that helps all those who want to use this form of communication to get involved. It helps our trainees because simple, easy language is good for everybody, for the people to be qualified and for their assistants. The next speaker is Charlotte Steger. During the past 6 years, you were able to qualify 200 young people, and 10% of them are fully employed, 20% have. I would like to know what, in your opinion, were the most important elements for the success of the project. You can look back on several years of experience, and we have political representatives of the provinces present here today. I would like to know how could this system be rolled out to other provinces, because it's important to ensure that people with disabilities all over Austria have access to this system. An important factor of success is that our qualifications have been designed in such a way that they are provided on the job at the workplace in cooperation with companies, enterprises of the regular labor market. And I think that educationally disadvantaged persons have a lot of negative experience with the Austrian education system. It won't help to get them together in a seminar room. They need to be where work is being done, where they can learn things and use them in practice. For that, we need committed enterprises that are open to this concept, not just the CEOs, but also the colleagues at the workplace. Therefore, we have also built a mentoring system. Colleagues of our participants are being prepared how to contribute to the success of this system. As regards the Austrian provinces, we've extended our network. There are colleagues from other organizations that are part of the COMCO COMCOM network. We are now represented and active in 5 provinces: Carinthia, Tyrol, Upper Austria, Lower Austria, and Styria. As a matter of principle, this is one of the strengths of our qualification program. We know we have 9 different achievement systems for people with disabilities who are considered to be unable to work, approximately 25,000 people. And it was a matter of concern for the last government, and it will be a matter of concern for the incoming government, that people earn a salary, a wage, not just a pocket money. Our approach with COMCON is not tailored to a particular form of qualification. It's something that can be implemented in socio-economic enterprises. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just have to adapt the situation so that people with disabilities have a chance there. Thank you very much. To the representative of Chance B. Now I would like to ask Rosa Ecker to join me again at the rostrum.
Ja, ich möchte mich ganz herzlich bedanken.
I'd like to thank all those who are going to present their projects today, and in particular my thanks go to Chance B that has just been presented. They're really working with a great deal of commitment and engagement for the benefit of people with disabilities. My wishes for the COMCON project are that a rollout to all Austrian provinces is going to happen. I will hope that there will be others inspired by this project. Later on, there will be a chance at round tables to contribute to this project, and the requirement that people should earn a salary and not just pocket money. As long as this is the case, I will fight for that until our goal is reached. Thank you very much for your commitment. Now, having seen the first innovation from Austria, we are now going to hear about an innovation from the United States, from the Wright Institute. The project will be presented by Heike Eder, member of the Austrian Parliament. She is also a Paralympics medal winner. That was in downhill skiing in 2019.
Schönen guten Morgen.
Good morning.
Mitte 30 trage ein
I'm
rotes Kleid.
in my mid-30s. I'm wearing a red dress and I'm walking on crutches. Lena is 10 years old. She loves music. There is a band in her school and she would like to play with this, but she has spastic paralysis in both hands, so she can't play traditional musical instruments, while her schoolmates are playing the guitar or on the keyboard. Lena can just sit there and watch. In order to help her, an individually adjusted instrument or device is being developed that allows her to press on the keyboards. She can even play the drums. And she will be sitting at the keyboard very soon and play the first bars of her favorite song. For such situations, there is Tom Global. This is a platform that gets together people with disabilities do-it-yourselfers, inventors, and engineers to solve problems like those faced by Lena in an innovative and affordable way, accessible to everyone. Because inclusion means not only to be there, but to be with the group, to act with the group. Since I've been 18 years old, I have had a disability. It was a skiing accident, and I know that in a person's life there are so many situations when you have special needs, when you need a solution to a special problem. Very often the special devices are not available in the market or extremely expensive. This platform, Tom Global, can help through networking by solving problems and by doing that in an affordable way, creating affordable innovations. Ladies and gentlemen, the future belongs to those who don't simply accept barriers but eliminate barriers, for a future in which no single child, no single person with a disability will be marginalized. Thank you very much.
Herzlichen Dank. Heike, wir sehen uns auch das Video.
Thank you, Heike. We're now going to watch the video. Tom Global verbindet Ingenieure
with disabilities to develop assistive technology. Operating in more than 35 countries, it offers solutions 80 to 99% cheaper, with 62 university campuses, innovating in assistive devices and distributed manufacturing.
Und mehr zum Projekt hören wir jetzt von Gideon Greenstein vom
We're going to hear more about the
Welcome.
project from Gideon Greenstein from the Right Institute.
Hello everyone. My name is Gidi Greenstein. I stand 1 meter and 81 centimeters. I'm bald. I wear a dark blue suit, a light blue shirt, a red tie. I'm a little bit solid. My wife says heavy. I'm 54. It's really an honor to be here. Members of Parliament and Government of Austria. Member of Parliament, Heike Eder, thank you for the honor. The Essl Foundation and the amazing Zero team, fellow innovators, everybody here in this room. Caroline, you moved all of us this morning. We are representing Reut USA, an organization in America, but I'm originally also from Israel and I'm Jewish. And it is a tremendous honor to be here today. And I really appreciate the moment. Thank you very much for it. Have you ever wondered why solutions for needs of people with disabilities are so expensive? Why they exist in one place and not in another place? Why sometimes they don't exist at all? And in the bigger picture, why 90% of innovation serves 10% of the population? And why are people with disabilities structurally excluded from the innovation economy? My answer to these questions is complicated. But at the same time, I challenge you to imagine. Imagine a world where many solutions cost 20% to 1% of their current market price. A world where every person with disabilities lives within a short distance of thousands of solutions to their needs. From the projects, the poor areas of New York City, to the mountains of Morocco, every one of them. And of course, all over Austria. A world where anyone can get any product, anywhere on the globe, in developing and developed nations, in rural and urban areas. In other words, just imagine 4 words: affordable, accessible for anyone, anywhere. It is possible in this day and age, and this is the reality that we are creating. The word TOM stands for Tikkun Olam Makers. Tikkun Olam is a Hebrew concept that calls upon every individual to do what they can to make the world a better place. And this is our message. We see this as a platform for inclusion, as I will describe in a moment. To realize this vision, we have basically developed an end-to-end process. On one side, just think about it. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of engineers, programmers, product designers who are willing to contribute their inventions and creations. We make it possible for them. We deposit everything they create online, open source. Anybody can download anywhere. And these products are being manufactured because today around the world, there is excess manufacturing capabilities. What do we mean by that? Almost every 3D printer bought in the last decade is underused, massively underused. And it can be used to create solutions. What is unique about our initiative is that we support not just people with disabilities, all vulnerable populations, also elderly and poor people. As I mentioned, we can work in developed and developing nations, in urban and rural areas. And through that, we transfer a tremendous amount of knowledge, not just between countries, but also within countries. And in that, we serve UN Sustainable Development Goal number 10 of increasing equality. Finally, and equally important since day one of our project, we are a platform for peacemaking. We are a platform for Jews and Arabs in Israel, for Israelis and Palestinians, for people all over the world to come together. There is a famous teaching by a famous rabbi by the name of Jonathan Sachs who said, the best way to heal a broken society is to build things together, which is what we do. Caroline, when I listened to you, you were so inspiring. You spoke about people with disabilities. I just want to mention one country, the UAE, where people with disabilities are being called people of determination. And this is what I thought when I heard you, that this is about tremendous determination to make things happen. And I believe we can do it. But in order to do that, we do need a global movement. In universities, in corporates, in care centers, and in schools. I believe that it can be done, and I believe it will be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gideon Greenstein. The first question will come from Franz Josef Hueinig.
Ich gebe es mir, das ist sehr wichtig für Menschen mit Behinderungen, auch assistierende technology.
Assistive technology is extremely important for people with disabilities in order to empower them to lead a self-determined life and to enjoy equal rights. My problem is speaking with a clear voice. I tend to hesitate a great deal when I speak, but an avatar has been programmed by me by the Scott Morgan Foundation, and that avatar will now be speaking for me.
Danke, Franz Josef.
Thank you, Franz Josef. I'd like to correct one thing right away. I'm not just your copy. I would say I'm the better original. I'm speaking with your voice, in an eloquent way and in a much more youthful way. I have two questions to Gidi Grinstein. How does Tom Global ensure that the devices developed actually serve the needs of people with disabilities, and how the feedback from users can be integrated into the development process?
Actually meets the needs of people with disabilities, and how is user feedback integrated into the development process. I would like to point out here that I also speak far better English than Franz Josef himself.
Thank you, Franz Josef. Danke, Franz Josef.
Thank you, Franz Josef. I too would like to make a comment. I'd like to announce that all participants of the Zero Project Conference 2025 will get access, can get access to this technology. If you are interested, please contact Levon Roberts from the Scott Morgan Foundation, CEO of the foundation. I don't really know where you are. Could you stand up so that you can be seen?
Thank you very much. Very humble, but also to know whom to approach to get access to the technology. Thank you very much. And now I hope you still remember the questions.
Thank you, Franz Josef, for this question. As a matter of value, as a matter of efficiency, people with disabilities are at the center of our design process, meaning we don't even begin the design of a solution without having a person with disability, their caregiver or their family, represent the problem. We don't call them people with disabilities. We call them need knowers. Need knowers. They know the need. And the engineering team and the design team is around the need knower. So there is immediate feedback on the definition of the problem on every iteration of the solution. Furthermore, we believe that the first line of the solution, the second iteration of the solution, the third iteration of the solution usually comes for the person in the need. Because them being in their condition, they have been very creative in what could address their challenge. So for us, this actually ensures not just the ethics of the process, also the efficiency of the process. For example, I spoke with Member of Parliament Eder today about the coming Paralympic Games in 2028. She was a Paralympian herself. She knows better than almost anybody else what would be required to address the needs of Paralympians and of people who are involved in sports. And this is our philosophy, and that's how we do it.
Thank you very much. We have another question, eine weitere Frage von Julia Moser von der Interessensvertretung
from Julia Moser, representing women with disabilities.
I'm impressed by how you involve persons with disabilities in this project to achieve low-cost results, and also how it's open to constant evolvement. However, we know that very often, for instance, women with disabilities are underrepresented in technical projects, even more so if they have low socioeconomic status. So what I would like to know is how does the project address this intersectionality to ensure that all persons with disabilities can participate, contribute their life experiences, and benefit from the results?
Well, thank you for this question. I do want to say that contrary to what may happen in many other places, this is not our challenge. First of all, because we look not only at the person with disability, we look also at the caregivers. And most of the caregivers are women, more than men. Also, when we look at the caring staff and the nurses in the hospitals, the care centers, there is majority of women there. So a lot of the problems come or are communicated to us through women, and they are also what we call, I just mentioned, the need knowers. On the design side, also, we have more than 50% participation of women. The leaders of our TOM communities around the world, probably 50% or more women. But I do want to point out something very, very interesting. Our innovation process was subject to a research of NYU, New York University Professor Hilal Ifshit-Sassaf, and she looked at 13 innovation teams and compared us also to what's going on in the corporate world. She found that our process is more efficient and more effective than anything she has seen in the corporate world. Now, 7 of the 13 teams were able to get to a working prototype within 3 days based on our process. Then she dug into the teams. And do you know what she discovered? That the most successful teams had majority women or all women participation because they required a deliberative process. And that deliberative process apparently happens better when there is gender mix in the team or teams that are led by women. And that was, I found it to be an extremely interesting conclusion from that research, and I'm happy to share it, of course, with everybody here. Thank you for this question.
Danke, Julia Moser. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julia Moser.
Amazing project. All the best and thank you for sharing with us. Und für die abschließenden Worte darf ich noch einmal Heike.
For the concluding remarks, I would again ask Heike Eder to come to the rostrum.
Ja, ich bedanke mich ganz herzlich bei dir.
Thank you very much, Gidi, for your presentation.
Allen Zuhörerinnen und Zuhörern natürlich und auch
all viewers and listeners, as well as those who have put questions, I would like to thank as well. I think for me this was confirmation of the fact that this innovation can facilitate and improve the lives of people with disabilities in Austria. We're going to have a roundtable after this conference and talk about how this innovation can be rolled out to Austria. You're all invited to participate if you wish to do so. I'm looking forward to a fruitful exchange. Thank you very much, Heike Eder. And this exchange should make sure that the projects can grow.
Moving on to the next innovation, and we're moving on to the United Kingdom. Christian Oxenich, a Social Democrat in the Austrian Parliament, will tell us more about this project.
Thank
you very much and welcome to everyone. I'm delighted to see the big interest in all of this. I'm not going to tell you what SAMI is all about. The representative of SAMI is going to tell us more himself. I'm 178 centimeters high. I'm a bit too heavy. I'm wearing a black jacket, a gray sweater. And those who know me know that I have a rather big nose. Now, why have I chosen this project? Why have I chosen SAMI? First of all, because it's dealing with an interesting topic, with being self-employed. It's not something that you see that often. It's a young project and association. I have a relation to Bournemouth. My daughter did her A-levels there, and so I was particularly interested to go and take a closer look behind this project. I've also chosen a small project for the very reason that it's those many small initiatives that sometimes help facing the big challenges in the lives of people with disabilities, help develop mechanisms of support also for the families. And I'm pleased that we have the opportunity to present this project, and the project as such will then be presented by Samantha Everard. I'm very happy that she's here with us today. Thank you.
SAMI in Bournemouth offers self-employment internships for young people with disabilities. In 2023, 12 participants completed training, with 9 starting businesses and 3 securing part-time jobs.
Of SEMI. Welcome, thank you.
We're looking forward to hearing more about SEMI. Welcome, Samantha Everett.
Okay, so to introduce myself, I'm 5'2", so I'm quite short. I have got very high heels, just so I can get above the podium. I wear dark glasses because I can't handle light. So if I take them off, it means I can't see anyone, so that might be braver for me, to be honest. Very nervous about being up here, and I present very differently to a lot of organisations because what I'm going to do is tell you a story so that you can have a gentle understanding of the work we do. I could give you facts and figures, but to be fair, I don't think that they will actually give you the same information that you need about our programme. SAMI started a supported internship for self-employment. It's the only one in the UK, and I believe the only one in the world at the moment, because it's quite a scary topic. And it all started with Will and a table of 280 spoons. His mum phoned us up and said, any ideas? What do we do with these things? And I sat with her and looked at the beautiful creations that he'd made. And it's because of his autism, he likes to feel the wood, and he likes to whittle wood, and he likes to create beautiful objects. Talking to him about self-employment was like talking to a brick wall. He was not interested. He was interested in the creative. He was interested in the pretty. He was interested in telling me about the piece of wood that he just found. And it took us a little while to actually get through and discuss things with him. His mum is fantastic. I know all about his mum and her life because she was our go-between. She was the one that sat on the calls and actually spoke to me about Will so that I understood the kind of things that I'd be dealing with as a mentor when working with him. With Will and 11 other young people, we co-created a self-employment qualification that is at level 1 equivalent, but what it actually does is allow them to create their own business plan. It's done through mind maps, creative dance, Play-Doh. It's done through pictures, visuals, photographs, and anything else that does not involve writing. Because what we have found with a lot of our neurodivergent crew is when they left school, they don't want to do writing anymore. So what he did is he developed his self-employment, he developed his photography skills, and then he came down and he met the Mayor of Bournemouth. Now, we were quite worried about this because he doesn't speak very much, but he did us proud. He told the Mayor and started to show him how he created items. Will went on to do some craft fairs. That took an awful lot of guts, and it was one of his work placements with us. And as he was stood there selling his spoons, and he took £300, which is quite a lot of money, he was so pleased. So he came back down to Bournemouth to meet my team, came to our Christmas party, and managed to gain £600 because each of the members of staff had had a glass of wine by that point and bought 3 spoons. He just is such an amazing person, but what he then did is he told me that he didn't like chucking away the little pieces of wood from his spoons, and he started to create beautiful fiddle toys for neurodivergent people. Each piece is individually handcrafted and put on a piece of string. They're really good when you're doing a speech in Parliament, by the way. So, he is now fully trading, and he's diversifying products. He's doing things like wooden spatulas. It's quite good fun getting these through the airport, trying to explain what they were. But I wanted to show you, because this is the kind of things we do. We change lives by introducing young people to young people. When you hear of a story when a young person who has never had a friend at home in the 25 years that they've been alive actually turns around and says, "My mum was surprised when there were 3 people on the couch on Tuesday. She cried. Why did she cry?" That tells you what we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samantha. Amazing to see what we can achieve if we enable people. Tobias Buchner hat die erste Frage. He has the first question.
First question from Tobias Bucher.
Somewhat, or some might say still middle-aged male. I'm wearing a navy suit, white shirt and black tie. I got dark hair and have a moustache. Thank you for your lovely, fascinating presentation. So, self-employment comes with a lot of opportunities, as it's often associated with flexibility, but one might say also with significant challenges. For example, financial instability is a key issue, especially in the early stages. Furthermore, self-employment is often underpinned by some ableist narratives, you know, what the person should be able to do to take care of her own business and all that. However, I think your project is a wonderful example how you break through these ableist narratives. And I think we in Austria can learn an awful lot from your work and your project. However, I would be especially interested, and you also, with your wonderful story you told, you already pointed to some aspects of what I'm going to ask now, is how does SEMI try to ensure that the internships and support from job coaches lead to sustainable self-employment? And, sorry, actually there are two questions. And to what extent are the specific needs of various disabilities individually addressed to maximize the chances of success in self-employment?
Okay, so the program itself has been co-designed with the disabled community, because what we have tried to do is discover what they find self-employment skills difficult. Now, we thought it was going to be around money and finance, but they actually came back to us with things like timekeeping and resource management and working out how to run a diary. What we do is, with this program, it will last either 1 year or 2 years, depending on the learning ability of the disabled person joining us. And we ensure that when they leave us, they have got those skills necessary. So we work through personal survival budgets, we work through how to set up a bank account, which can be very difficult for some of our disabled community when they do not have any personal identification and they're in supported living because they cannot prove who they are. So we make sure that they are set up in that way. We also work through, we have access to work in the UK, where the government will fund some support for people that are actually in employed roles. They do that for self-employment as well. So we work through with that disabled person to make sure, again, that they have got all of the information they need to apply for that and to work out within those 2 years what support they do need. So what we do is we ensure that using the circle of support, using networks, building peer relationships, they have got everything that they need to move forward. We don't expect them to be earning the full self-employment wage straight away. It's about an independent living to actually bring them away from benefits slowly in a safe way so that they can actually work.
Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, Tobias. Eine weitere Frage gibt es von Monika.
We have another question from Monika Schmerold. Thank you for this great project. It's difficult to express your talent and to recognize that you can use this to do business. So my question is as follows: how do you find your participants? Who decides who is accepted to participate?
For you, we have it on the screen as well. Thank you for this great project. It is difficult to express your talent and to recognize that you can use it to do business. The question is, how do you find participants? How do you acquire them? And who decides who is able to join the program?
Awesome. All right, participants are actually finding us. We have ventriloquists, we have entertainers, we have dog walkers. So they come and find us because they cannot get traditional employment in the role that they want to do. We work very closely with the local job centres, the local colleges and the local parents to make sure that we actually get the right people. We accept everybody onto programme, we do not discriminate, but as they start to develop their skills, what we may find is traditional employment is more beneficial, in which case our teams support that through volunteering and other work to make sure that they end up with a positive outcome regardless.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Samantha. Everard from SEMI, all the best. Danke auch an Tobias Buchner und Monika Schmerz.
Thank you to Tobias and Monica for your questions. And Christian Oksenic will now talk about the next steps.
Ja, einen wesentlichen Grund, warum ich dieses Projekt ausgewählt habe.
One of the reasons why I chose this project is one that I haven't mentioned yet. Networking and exchange of information is one of the big challenges for small projects like these. Often it's difficult to get in touch with others, and so I thought this might be a good occasion for SME to establish new contacts also here in Austria, but also to give others the chance to learn from you, from your project. And so I hope that there will be a lively exchange in the next few days, and I'm sure Samantha and her husband will be available for questions and more information. Thank you very much, Christian Oksenic. And before we move on to the next innovation, I'm very pleased to now welcome the President of the National Council. Welcome to you, and thank you again for having us here, Walter Rosenkrantz. Now, moving on to the fourth innovation, and we're traveling back to Austria. This is a project by Diakonie de la Tour. We will hear a few first thoughts about this project by Fiona Fiedler of the NEOS Party.
Ja, herzlich willkommen in unserem wunderbaren barrierefreien Haus.
Thank you and welcome to the fully accessible parliament. Let me introduce myself. I'm 180 centimeters high, red long hair, a dark blouse, a pink jacket, and I'm almost 50 years of age. Now, I also wanted to welcome the deaf community. Caroline.
It really got me. Warum habe ich dieses Projekt von der Diakonie de la Tour ausgewählt?
Why did I choose this project? First of all, it's a project from Carinthia. Not many of you may know it, but I am from Carinthia, and so I'm always happy to hear about projects in my home region. But the main reason was really that this is a project here in Austria of the kind of which you often hear, you can't do this in Austria. And you see from this example that it can be done. Thank you to Mr. Mellitz, who really took me by his hand and walked me through the various locations of Diakonie de la Tour to show me what people are capable of doing. People who usually work in sheltered workshops don't get any other chance. And one thing that moved me very much was that one of the participants says that he's now earning 900 euros. And when I asked him, well, what did you earn when you worked in the sheltered workshop? He said 5 euros a week. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not something we should be tolerating in Austria. This is not acceptable. This is really not acceptable. This is abusing of people. This means exploiting people, but this project here shows how it can be done and that it can be done. And I'm really looking forward to Mr. Mellitz's presentation of this project. Thank you.
Diakonie de la Tour in Austria created 20 jobs for individuals with disabilities via small enterprises. By 2024, businesses in catering and education fostered inclusivity.
Mehr über dieses Projekt von Diakonie de la Tour.
We'll hear more about this project now from Michael Melitzer. Welcome. Good morning, my name is Michael Melitzer. I'm a member or an employee of Diakonie de la Tour. I'm wearing a grey suit a black shirt. I have short salt and pepper hair. I'm wearing glasses. 57 years old. I'm 178 centimeters high. Maybe 180 because I'm growing just because of the honor to be able to speak here and to present a project. And I would like to start by telling you the story of Markus Horn. On the first picture, you see a young man riding a bike with the sea in the background. Mario Horn is one of the people working in one of our inclusive social enterprises. When I asked him what working in this small enterprises meant to him, he said, I feel freer. Now, on the next slide, you can see Mario Horn again. He's standing next to a wooden sculpture. Then he's wearing the dress of the Special Olympics in Sweden. Then there's a picture of myself and Mario in a discussion we had, and then him again on his bike riding through the forest. He was born in 1984 in Styria, and he went to special needs school in Carinthia. After that, he started a basic vocational training at Diakonie. This is a preparatory training for people with special needs. He did that in a wood processing business. He liked that very much, but he didn't like the theory, and he didn't manage to really enter the labor market after that. So he moved on to a sheltered workshop where he helped with the catering and also worked as a wood sculptor, which is where he could show his talent, his excitement about working with wood. He also has some artistic talent that he discovered, and he really liked working there, but he only earned pocket money, around 20 euros a month. So although he did like his job there, he wasn't happy. After 18 years in this carpenter's workshop, he wanted to join the regular labor market, and he was supported in sending his applications to food retail shops, bike shops, but he was turned down everywhere. The barriers for people with disabilities, especially with intellectual disabilities, are still very high, especially when it comes to working on the regular labor market. And then, of course, the fact that people working in sheltered workshops are considered not to be able or capable of working in the regular labor market doesn't help. At the same time, in 2021 or 2022, Mr. Horn then came across a job opening in one of our social enterprises. You can now see the next picture, people in white working clothes in a kitchen where they work on some pasta dough. This is a large kitchen. 4,500 portions of food are prepared a day in this kitchen, and they also produce pasta there. This is where we set up one of our first social enterprises where people with and without disabilities work together. They produce more than 4,000 portions of a special Corinthian pasta dish. So Mario applied there. He did a month of voluntary training there, and then he was employed. He is paid according to the collective agreement and is employed there now, and there's also an assistant there available. The biggest challenge for Mario Horn was not the high pressure in terms of production output, but communication with colleagues, actually. When you work in a large industrial kitchen, communication is sometimes a bit rough, Mario also told me. So we organized a workshop for everyone there, and the topic of this workshop there was how can we improve the way we work with each other. Everyone there, including the chef, participated in the workshop, and everyone benefited from this workshop. Having a permanent employment changed my life. Mario says, I can do more things, I can afford more things, I've become more autonomous. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, because otherwise I still wouldn't have a job today. Mario is one of 20 people at Diakonie who went down this path, one of 20 people who came from sheltered workshops and are now working in a regular employment, are insured, have social security, and this shows that it's possible to give people full employment and not just pocket money. Mario starts every day in his work life smiling. Thank you. Thank you very much, Michael Melitzer, for this excellent example how things can be done and that things can be done. First question from Rudolf Cavagna. Good morning. Yes, it's excellent that 20 jobs were created for people with disabilities in southern Carinthia. My question is, why did you have to set up specific enterprises? Why did you not get in contact with existing enterprises in the region that could have taken on these people? Because as I understand, people receive 100% of support from the provincial government. So why this approach and not another approach? Thank you. Yes, of course, that is a very important question that is important to us too, integrating people with disabilities in the regular labor market, be it a specific enterprise where you can give specific support maybe, or be it other types of enterprises. Marihorn is one of the examples that show that we still have many barriers to overcome when we want to walk down this road. He's also an example for the fact that many attempts at getting a foot in the door of the regular labor market don't work. And that's why about 5 years ago we developed this idea to just take the first step to create inclusive social enterprises, small enterprises that will give us a chance to show that this can be done, to show that these people can give a lot, can do a lot, and to act as an example for other people who can get to know our enterprises, the people working there who can see that this works, and that then in the future maybe we can prepare the ground for these people working also outside the area of social enterprises. Second question from Heidemarie Ecker. Thank you. Well, we seem to be interested in similar things. My question is about the following. We're getting close to the 8th of March, so my question is about women with disabilities. Do women with disabilities have access to these innovation? And is this a topic? Do you place special attention on this? Well, let me try and count how many of the 20 people are women. We do have many women. One of our co-workers who works at the Academy, she's also here today. Ms. Leitner, welcome, and hello to her. So we do have many women among the group for whom jobs were created, and of course women do play a big role too. Thank you for the questions. Thank you again for presenting this project, and we hope that it will be copied and that others will choose the same approach. Now, some closing words on the next steps from Fiona Fiedler, also on this project.
Ich durfte Mario
I had the pleasure to meet Mario and many of his co-workers, and it was a huge pleasure for me to meet a colleague of his who is working at the Academy. She told me, for example, that she finally was able to do a paragliding course and to pay this out of her own pocket, finally. I think what we need is to look at things, to get to know these enterprises. What I will do, I will talk to Michi Pichler to go and visit this enterprise in Carinthia. I will go there with my family, with friends, acquaintances, just to show people what we are capable of doing in Austria. We will also organize a roundtable discussion to discuss further possibilities. We need to change our mindset, and that's my message to you. Use this mindset when you act as multipliers to talk about this, to disseminate the message that we don't just need social enterprises, but that people with disabilities can add huge value to every enterprise. Thank you very much, Fiona Fiedler. And we're moving on to the final innovation project now. This is
Nachbarn nach Deutschland. Und normalerweise schauen wir immer nach Deutschland und sagen, so geht das nicht. Jetzt schauen wir nach Deutschland und sagen, genau so geht es, genauso müssen wir es nachmachen, worum es sich handelt und was wir genau erfahren werden. Und vor allem die Beweggründe von Ralf Schallmeiner, sich dieses Projekt auszusuchen, das hören wir jetzt. Wir begrüßen den Abgeordneten zum Nationalrat von den Grünen, Ralf Schallmeiner.
So I welcome Member of Parliament Ralf Schallmeiner. Thank you very much. I too would like to welcome you most cordially here. I'm Ralf Schallmeiner. I'm 48 years old. For those of you who can't see me, I have grey hair and a beard. Well, I could do a bit more. I could exercise a bit more, to put it in a friendly way. I'm wearing a blue suit and a white shirt. And I'm wearing glasses because I can't see a lot without glasses. You may know what I mean. You look at a list. Someone tells you, check this list. There are great projects. What do you think stands out? What fits for you? What would you like to support? That was the task. I looked at the list, and you discover something, and you get interested. You read it. You put it on your short list. You continue reading, and then you notice that while you're reading other things, your thoughts are still with the project you originally singled out. So you found the project you would like to support, and you tell yourself, well, I could phone them there. When I got this list of great innovative projects to be presented here today, I came across Handicapped, not only because it comes from Berlin, and I love Berlin, but also because it's so simple, so easy. It's in the midst of our life. It deals with things that are beautiful, that are fun, that make you enjoy life. And I thought, well, this is exactly what we need in our society. This is how we can go about inclusion. It's about giving people a chance to present themselves, to perform and to earn money with their performance, and to earn money and recognition. And for that, it takes innovative projects, exciting projects like Pink Music from Handicapped. And I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at it today. And if you can bring it to Austria, we can indeed learn a lot from our German colleagues.
Handicapped in Berlin launched Pink Music, a platform for musicians with disabilities, in 2021. By 2024, it featured 97 acts and attracted more than 25,000 visitors annually, promoting inclusive concerts and bookings.
Well, I welcome Thorsten Hesse from Handiklapped and Fred Lohr, an artist from Pink Music. Thank you very much. Fred asked me to introduce ourselves. Fred is more than 1.80 meters tall. I'm shorter. He's wearing a green shirt in the zero colors. I'm wearing a gray jacket with a colored heart. It has some green in it, and we're both in our mid-50s. Fred has a short beard. He has very few hairs on his head left. I have a bit more, but I pretend that it's a lot more. Culture, in our case, music, is not just nice to have. In times of polarization in our society, music brings us all together. Music is an element that combines us, no matter where we come from, what we think, and what our capabilities are. Music is a language beyond borders. If you make music with others, sing with others, dance, or only listen to music, you are part of a greater thing, and this creates a community. And this is why we are convinced that music is a superpower that leads to a more open, unbiased, and inclusive society. Therefore, as a non-profit association, we've been organizing concert performances since 2008, always one inclusive band and another band that is just normally mad. They're working together on stage and behind the stage. More than 400 such concerts have already taken place. We have been often asked where we find those great artists, and we said, well, we don't really know. And there was no place where these artists were shown and made visible. This is why, together with Music Tech Germany, we set up the platform, Pink Music, for inclusive bands, DJ teams, choirs, solo musicians. More than 100 acts from all the German Länder are represented on the platform, also from Austria. From different genres of music, from punk to rock and blues to classical music, professionals and non-professionals.
Jetzt habe ich den Faden verloren.
Well, I forgot what I was going to say next.
Sind wir froh, hier zu sein?
Well, anyway, we're happy to be here today and to be able to present our project.
And
of course, we hope that others will copy our initiative and do the same. The platform is free of charge for bands and for those booking the bands, and we're happy that we've been able to mediate I don't know how many acts for the bands, and we support them in getting more and more professional, because music, after all, is a profession, and we want to make this very clear today. And what can you do? You can support us through advice, through public relations work for the bands, by providing premises, and by booking Pink Music bands for your next party, your next conference, your next gala event. Don't do that as a social project, but simply because those are great bands that are able to convey superpower from the stage. And with this, I hand over to Fred, who is a music educator, a workshop organizer, and a guitarist. Well, good morning. First of all, I come from Frankfurt. As you can hear, I have a severe cold. Well, I've known Thorsten and Handiklapped for about 2 years, and ever since, A great deal has happened in my profession through Pink Music. With a guitarist from Potsdam, we call ourselves Fest und Frei. Because I'm firm with my guitar pieces and we don't want to be isolated. We've had performances at the Baltic Sea, in Berlin and in other places. We couldn't have done that without the platform, because normally I only performed in the Frankfurt area. It's great to go to other places. It's a great experience for me. I'm blind, and a place is perceived in a different way when I perform there myself and earn money for doing so. The same is going to happen tomorrow in Vienna. I'm going to play at, well, what's the place called? At Quentin's in Kaiserstraße. There will also be a reading, literature reading. Well, I'm telling you about that because this underlines what's so special about Pink Music. The very fact that I can play there tomorrow, that means preparation, conversations with other people, and a great deal of energy is generated that way, that combines us. And even Germans and Austrians can make friends that way and make music and party together. Thank you very much for the presentation. I once learned to play the trumpet, and if my company doesn't work out, I will join you. I will get in touch with you, but I'm afraid I'm not good enough yet. The first question comes from Mr. Specht, Christian Specht. He also comes from Berlin, from the Parliament of People with Disabilities in Berlin.
Leute ein iPad hat und nach Musik oder nach Dings Zoom.
Well, it's great when people have an iPad, but when people have problems with their iPads and can't deal with these problems alone, I will support them with my assistant. We've tried to make the site as accessible as possible. That means easy language, strong contrast between light and dark, and easy navigation. We've got videos with audio description, and we try to make the site as accessible as possible. Perhaps a quick story. We spent a lot of money to design an accessible form for the bands, because the content all comes from the bands themselves, and we told them, well, you can send us a PDF file and we are going to register there. And more than 80 of the bands were entered in the form by ourselves. So do use the form that was designed for that purpose. The next question will come from Maria Binova from a community of the blind and the visually challenged. I'd like to hear more about how you intend to further develop your platform. And is the offer being accepted by the music industry? And what are your further steps in your development? Of course, we invite more and more artists, including Austrian artists, to register on the platform. We have a quality seal for concert agencies that book the bands. We want to expand to more of the German Länder. We are currently launching a partnership program with all Pink Music acts, together with well-known bands. We bring them together with representatives of the music industry in order to familiarize them with how to write music, how to further develop music. And experts from the music industry are also involved there. And this is our further development. Yes, we learn from one another if we can engage in an exchange, also with the music industry. Thank you, Thorsten Hesse and Fred Lohr from Handicapped Pink Music. I hope there will be many followers doing the same. I'd like to thank those who have put questions. You have now seen 5 innovations showing that with technical assistance, creativity, exchange, getting together, it works. This is what we want to launch here and continue during the next few days. I'd now ask the President of the Federal Council, Andrea Glitsthaler, for a few concluding remarks. Thank you very much. For me, it's something very special to stand here because the Federal Council has its own meeting room. It's great to be in the meeting room of the National Council for once. I am a white woman, over 60. I have gray hair, but you can't see it. It's dyed. I'm just under 1.65 meters. I'm wearing a white blouse, a dark trousers, and a flamingo-colored jacket. I love colors. Kathy told us that we, older women, we love colors.
We are all equal. That's the thing I want to tell you. We are all equal here in this room. Ich freue mich sehr dazu.
As you can see, the Austrian Parliament, that is the National Council and the Federal Council, are not just a place for debates. We also do a lot of public relations work. We organize events. We have more than 1 million people visit the Austrian Parliament every year. We are a symbol of change and progress. The building was renovated and is now accessible, fully accessible, which shows that we are committed to inclusion. It's important for everyone to get to the Federal Council, to this room, without any barriers. We are continuing our efforts in the field of inclusion, not only in this building, but also in terms of our political responsibility in the way we think and the way we act. We want to promote equal opportunities and participation in society for all. And this is what this event today has shown. And it's the Zero project that shows that. This is the 6th kickoff event. More than 1,500 participants, as we heard, will be meeting at the Vienna International Center and discussing the possibility of arriving at even better solutions with decision makers and opinion shapers from the world of politics, civil society, the economy, media, and politics. It's important to discuss this topic continuously and to find solutions together. We've heard that 77 projects have won an award from 45 countries. So you can see that together we are tackling this task. This is particularly important in times like these with a very difficult political situation in the world. It also shows that inclusion is not a vision, a mere vision, but a living reality. This has been demonstrated by the presentations today. I'd like to thank the members of Parliament for having chosen these projects. I'm sure it was a difficult task. There would have been many other projects, but we've seen the diversity of projects, and it's been impressive to see people working on new solutions. Because inclusion is a task for society as a whole that goes beyond political borders and demands a joint effort. We've also seen that AI offers great opportunities, and we should use these opportunities. AI-supported assistance forms, accessible digital platforms, mobility, solutions that are innovative. Technology makes a great deal possible, but the important thing is that these developments have to be designed to be inclusive from the very beginning. This is the only way to avoid the setting up of new digital barriers. What I found particularly impressive was the first demonstration of the AI avatar for people suffering from ALS, a pioneering innovation. I remember the father who said that he will still be able to read to his children in a couple of years. So we have to work towards the further development of such innovative projects. Only together can we succeed. It's up to us, to all of us, civil society, the economy, political decision makers, to create the right framework. We, as politicians, have to make sure that the laws adopted do not make inclusion dependent on individual decision, but create structural roots for them. This event has been a source of inspiration for me. I will leave this building full of inspiration, and I'd like to thank all those who have made this event what it is. I also thank the Zero Project because you have made it possible, the Essl Foundation, the numerous national and international partners, all those who day after day commit themselves to an inclusive society. It's high time to continue our work. First of all, to say thank you, but to continue working, building awareness, and committing to an inclusive society. Thank you very much to all those who have contributed to this event. Thank you very much. President of the Federal Council, Andrea Eder-Gitschtaler. Well, this was a kick-off event, which is a kick-off for the coming days at the Zero Project Conference, for engaging in exchanges, learning from one another, growing together, and eliminating barriers in society and making professional participation, with or without technology, possible for everyone. This exchange is to be continued. You're all cordially invited to a reception in the Säulenhalle of the Austrian Parliament, and there will be round tables there again. There will be exchanges about how we can implement these innovations in Austria. When something is taking place for the 6th time, I can already say that by tradition we end this kickoff event with a special anthem. You're going to see the video and you're going to hear the anthem. You will be able to see the White Hands Choir that was on site last year has interpreted the anthem, and we are happy to conclude this great kickoff event with the Zero Project anthem. Together we're going to create an accessible world free of barriers.
The Zero Project is a global initiative to find and share innovative solutions that remove barriers for persons with disabilities. On behalf of the Essl family, Georg Valguni composed the Zero Project anthem. In this video, you will see the White Hands Chorus Nippon perform the anthem at the Zero Project Conference 2024 at the United Nations office at Vienna. Children with and without disabilities in this choir beautifully bring to life the Zero Project mission of creating a world with zero barriers.